You own the Quest 2. Should you upgrade to the Meta Quest Pro or the Quest 3? And how do those two compare to the incoming Apple Vision Pro? All of that and more, you're watching Bringhurst VR. So to begin, the Meta Quest 3 and the Quest Pro are both going to excel in different ways over the Quest 2. So should you upgrade? Yes. Which one? We'll get into it. So out the box, we can look at these specs, the Quest Pro compared to what we know about the Quest 3. Quest Pro currently features 1800 by 1920 per eye, and the Quest 3 is 2064 by 2208. They are both LCD screens, so the blacks are not going to be amazing. Refresh rate, the Quest Pro features, it says 72 to 90 Hertz, but there's an experimental 120, I believe, whereas the Quest 3 features 120 Hertz out of the box. They both have pancake lenses compared to the Fresnel on the Quest 2, and the controllers are going to be a bit different. Now, the Quest 2 had the ring on the controller with LED lights inside of it for tracking. The Quest Pro went the route of cameras, which was great. Everyone loves these controllers if they're not a little bit expensive. The reason they're great is because you can put it behind your back and it continues to track even though the camera can no longer see the controllers. The Quest 3's controllers look similar to it, nearly identical to it, but they don't have cameras. Instead, it seems the LED lights are built into the controllers. There's a question as to how well this is going to work, because presumably it would be pretty easy to hold the controller in such a way that you accidentally cover the lights. They're releasing it like this. I'm assuming they've got most of the bugs out of it. I'm assuming it'll work fine. All the same, people are going to be buying the Quest Pro controllers to use it with the Quest 3, which I'm sure will work. But keep in mind that adds an extra $300 to the price tag. Additionally, the Quest Pro is going for $999. I wouldn't be surprised if they drop that price by $100 once the Quest 3 comes out. Quest 3 is running for $499, which is a bump up from what the Quest 2 is currently at. Something to keep in mind, if you decide to go the route of getting the Meta Quest Pro controllers with the Quest 3, that's essentially bringing the price up to $800. That's a lot of money for a lot of people. One of the better aspects of the Quest Pro is that it has face tracking, eye tracking for social purposes. So if you're in VR chat, you look here, you look there, it knows what you're looking at, and it's more interesting. The downside of it is that it's not for you, it's for everyone else. And so as someone who's not typically in those kinds of apps, it never mattered to me. I don't really care about it. I suppose it's nice for other people, but nobody has, or at least not as many people have the Quest Pro as they do the Quest 2. So when you have eye tracking, you're doing it for everyone else, and you're getting nothing out of it, at least right now. That's not a problem with the headset, that's a problem with the software and the price of the Quest Pro. Now, the Quest 3 does not have eye tracking. It's going to bum a few people out, but what it does have is a depth sensor. I talked about this in my last video. The link is down in the description. And I touched on why I'm so excited for it, but there's another aspect that's blowing my mind, and much thanks to this creator for bringing it to my attention. The Apple Vision Pro can do a lot of things, least among them is gaming. Because it doesn't ship with controllers, you will never, presumably, be able to play Half-Life Alyx on the Apple Vision Pro. Right there, I suddenly have no interest in it. However, what it does do, what it can do, what it's built to do is to take interactive entertainment experiences. But everything that it can do, the Meta Quest 3 can do. If anything, there's a software limitation that prevents it from achieving this or that along the way, but it's nothing that can't be developed down the line. And now that Meta knows that they're competing against the Apple Vision Pro, presumably, they can't go back in time and rebuild the headset. They can do a lot with the incoming tech. One of them, as referenced by the developer I mentioned, brought to light that on the Quest 2, the Quest Pro for that matter, say you're watching a movie, well, then you have this. It's just a box floating in the air. I mean, it does its job, it has a purpose, but I mean, it's just static. The reason it's static is because on the Quest 2 and the Quest Pro, there is no depth sensor. There's no way to calculate how far that screen is from the wall or from me or from the bed. And so it's not terribly interactive as far as the room's concerned. But you add a depth sensor, it knows exactly how far that wall is. It knows exactly where the bed is. And suddenly, there's a shadow behind it. Not only that, but any light emitting from the screen is going to be cast onto the bed. In addition to that, say you want to watch a movie. How cool would it be to take that movie and take its atmosphere and incorporate it into your room? If you're on the bed watching the movie and you're watching this, and suddenly rain starts spilling down from the room, pattering on the bed and the couch with precision. I mean, that's going to be super immersive. It wouldn't take priority over what you're watching on the screen. It wouldn't obscure your view of it at all. I can't emphasize enough, I can't overstate how cool that's going to be. The thought of that dinosaur tearing down that fence and stepping through to the cars as you look at your spouse on the bed and say, holy crap, and you're both looking around the room at the rain coming down and the clouds, the thunder, and lights just illuminating the walls when lightning strikes. How engrossing would that be? It'll change the viewing experience forever. Forget IMAX, forget going to the theaters. There'd be nothing like it. I'm just saying, like, if you can pull that off, there's no reason they can't do it. As soon as we know that the bed is here, as soon as we know this is the wall, there's nothing we can't do with it. And I'm super looking forward to it. Apple's already bent on doing this, and Meta has a chance to compete in a real way. That is why I'm so excited for the Quest 3. It's all about the depth sensor. Do I wish it had eye tracking? No. You might wish it had eye tracking, but it's not something I care about, which is why I didn't stick with the Quest Pro. But should you? It depends. If you care about the eye tracking, if you're intensely social on VR chat, then you may want it. But again, it's not for you, it's for everyone else. I mean, the Quest Pro is not going to take over the market. Meta's already said they're basically discontinuing it. Whatever they have on the shelves is what they have. They're not producing it any longer. They've abandoned it. They should have put the depth sensor in when they had the chance. It would have changed it completely, but they didn't. I think because there was some kind of a thing where while using the depth sensor, you could potentially see through people's clothes, and all the perverts were... Oh. But the point is, they bailed on that. They took that depth sensor out at the last minute, completely tanked the whole product, and now they're done with it. So the Quest 3 is what's moving forward. So to clarify, the Quest Pro has got better resolution than the Quest 2. It has eye tracking. It's generally more comfortable. It has better pass-through, whereas the Quest 2 is strictly black and white. But even that pass-through is not very good. It takes the composition of several cameras and stitches them together so that if you want to look at something up close, you'll go cross-eyed before you can even make sense of it. You can't look at a phone. You can't look at your watch. You can't really make anything out. It's simply for just casual glancing at people in a certain direction. And the Quest 3 is going to be better. It's reported that you'll be able to use your phone and read text with it, which is a huge improvement over everything between the Quest 2 and the Quest Pro. Really, the Quest Pro is barely an improvement. It's great that you have color pass-through, but it's not even true color pass-through. It's a black and white camera, and then they have a color camera that's like a lower resolution, and they paste it over the image that you've already got. It works surprisingly well considering the knots they tied themselves in trying to get it done, but it's not authentic, it's messy, and it's stitched together kind of poorly, especially when you look at something close up. I think it's safe to say that most people are going to jump for the Quest 3 because it's cheaper, because the Quest Pro is basically discontinued, and because of the depth sensor. Now the Apple Vision Pro is offering quite a bit. I mentioned before that they're not shipping it with controllers. It's entirely hand-based. You look at what you want and then click your finger and select it. People have described it as it's like it's reading your mind, which is awesome. And it has its own purpose in the Apple ecosystem. People who are tied to Macs, iPads, iPhones, you're going to feel right at home with it. But I don't know who's going to spend 10 grand getting a few of them for their family so they can watch a movie together with that kind of experience I described before. Personally, I'll reiterate, I think the Apple Vision Pro is going to be for a certain type of person, and that person is not the gamer. That's not you, that's not me. I have no interest in it. Can't imagine a way that you would play Half-Life Alyx or Population 1 inside of the Apple Vision Pro. I just don't see how it can be done. I could see you pulling off Beat Saber, but even that, without something in the hand, it would be awkward at best. Now, to be clear, I had the Quest Pro. A lot of people love the Quest Pro. The Quest Pro is a good headset. It is an upgrade. but it's $1,000. And for some of us, it was $1,500 back in the day. But it is discontinued. They are not making new ones, and at some point, they're going to begin making games that only work on the Quest 3 to take advantage of that XR2 Gen 2 chip. And at that point, the Quest 2 and the Quest Pro alike will be left behind. It is not long for this life, and I personally feel that the depth sensor is going to be more profound than the eye tracking. But again, it's up to you. It depends on if you're a social kind of person. So let me know what you think. Are you looking forward to the Quest 3? Are you looking forward to the Apple Vision Pro? Are you happy with the Quest 2? Are you getting the Quest Pro? Tell me what you think in the comments. I want to know. Am I wrong? No, I'm never wrong. But maybe I am. You've been watching Bringhurst VR. Thank you for joining me. Please subscribe. Please like this video. And have a great day.